Good morning. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for December 21st, 2019.
Today we're talking MLB
The PlayStation 4 is getting a back button.
and a new Telltale engine.
We'll tell you more about this soon.
Uh-oh.
It takes a person.
Hello.
Hi.
We got there.
Got there.
We got there. That's the important part about the show.
We always get there. We
got
always get you there.
We get you
To the news.
Whoa.
Whoa! Welcome to the big shoe.
Huh.
The shoe.
The show?
The big shoe.
The show?
The show.
The shoe.
The show.
I'm Nick.
I'm Tony.
I'm Chris.
Speaking of shows.
Yeah.
Let's show into
With shoes.
Let's show into this shoe.
MLB The Show is a game.
MLB The Show, if you don't know, is a popular baseball franchise. It has basically been exclusive to the PlayStation
Yes.
franchise since the dawn of whenever that franchise
Which is always
partnership started.
Which has always kind of surprised me because there's not really any other MLB games.
Right. And so MLB and PlayStation have basically cornered the market on baseball games. If you wanted to play a baseball game, like a good simulation baseball game,
Yeah.
you played it on the PlayStation.
Yep.
If you wanted to play like RBI baseball or any of those, not non-simulation baseball games, you could play it on the platforms. But MLB was where you got the brand names, like the good, like the players, the recognizable modern players.
Well, and the actual single player game where it's like
Yes.
go through and road to
create
the
a
show,
character.
create a character, do your
Yeah.
thing, like all of
They've
those
experimented
things.
that, yes. So that's been a long time.
Yeah.
Well, Sony has decided to re-up their contract with MLB, understandably.
Sure.
And so they, in a small press release, they put out saying that we are going to come back in 2020 with a new MLB The Show, also available on other platforms.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Now they didn't name drop anyone, but as soon as that
Other
press release,
platforms.
as soon as that press release announced or dropped,
Yep.
Nintendo ended up retweeting it
Yep.
with a little baseball emoji.
That's
And then
Stadia.
In Stadia
Oh, sure.
and Xbox, they all retweeted that exact same press release.
Yeah.
And we are gonna get a Sony produced game on another
That's
on a
fine.
Nintendo.
You got Crash Bandicoot. and
You have
stuff,
Crash
and Spyro.
Bandicoot. No, well, that's a different.
Those were Sony's first.
Yes, but they're also Activision's. That's a different story, though.
Microsoft has been doing it too.
Yes, Microsoft's been doing it with Cuphead.
Yep.
Was a big.
Well,
very-
Minecraft.
Minecraft, Cuphead. Those are two very big examples
Yep.
with Nintendo.
Yeah, no, it's
It's just weird.
I like-
This world is getting weird.
I like the show.
Cross-platform.
Well, it's because we're finally into that
This is the
cross-platform piece.
Yeah, it only took us how many decades?
Right.
But
But we're finally there. Like,
the last true cross-platform game no one ever even really played was Final Fantasy XI.
right.
That was the only like MMO game, multiplayer game that you could play on both. Like you could have a party with someone on a PS2, an Xbox 360, a PC, and a PS3 in the same time.
Right.
That was the only game one of the two games that you didn't need Xbox Gold to play online.
Right.
It was very weird. And we're getting to that place now with Rocket League, with Modern Warfare, with Minecraft, with
Obviously now MLB The Show. And if
MLB
MLB
The
The Show's
Show.
doing, EA should be able to step up. Like that'll be
Yeah.
kind of
Should.
the.
Should be.
Yeah.
everyone should be on their games now.
Doesn't
If they're
mean they
planning on
will.
making a multiplayer game now.
See, and now the next
And-
step is, voice integration, obviously, for all of this stuff. Because
That's a Nintendo issue.
well, but that's Nintendo's issue.
Everyone
for
else can- everyone
sports
else can-
stuff.
Everyone else more or less can kind of do that.
Yeah,
But-
but it's just like I prefer using, the PlayStation Party Chat stuff when we play games as
Yeah.
opposed to, whatever they're giving me in game. Because usually in game
You get
It's okay.
sound
people
quality's
you don't
not
wanna
as
hear.
good. You get the people you don't want to hear, like Brian and I were
And
playing
it helps,
Modern
and-
Warfare the other night,
and it's
some
good
guy
to-
finally
for example,
sent us
if-
a message in text because he knew we couldn't hear.
Because every once in a while we'll play other games too.
Correct. That's the nice thing
Whereas
is,
like I'll be playing Tetris or something, you guys will be playing.
and you can be in a
Conan or
party and
whatever-
still
whatever
talk.
it- yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the nice part of still being on the same console, but that's where the consoles are going to have to make their pieces now. It's like,
Is that the next thing? Do you think that's the next thing? Like
your operating system has to nail down all of those pieces,
We
or
are-
Xbox, like the next Xbox, making sure they are completely backwards compatible is going to help them because
both console makers are really getting on that.
well, because they have to. If all of our games are cross-platform, I only need to buy one console.
They've even talked about it with the Xbox Series X too. Phil Spencer was talking about after the announcement how the future works
Yep.
for the Xbox, because they haven't. The Xbox Series X isn't actually their next Xbox. It's just the next iteration.
Right.
And so they've talked about. He used an example of Halo Infinite, where you would buy the Xbox One version of that, whether it's a digital or a disc version.
Yeah.
And when you end up getting an Xbox Series X, you just got the Series X version of
Right, it just
Halo.
upgrades itself.
It just upgrades it. Not even just upgrades. You just get the rights to the
Yeah.
new version. And apparently for the foreseeable future, like when the next Xbox comes after that, and you, whatever reason, are still playing Halo Infinite, you'll get another version of that.
Yep.
Like the idea of that you buy one game.
Well, but that's
Like even if it's on one platform,
yeah.
like you get that backwards and then forwards.
Yep, but that was even my
Like,
when I got
that's
my Xbox.
progressive.
Like when I bought this Xbox, and then I loaded up Game Pass and yada 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 yada, and then it was like, would you like to download games like you've previously had? And Alan Wake's All American Nightmare or whatever,
Yeah.
because I had it on my 360.
Great game.
But I can download it
Yeah, yeah.
because I own it.
Yep.
Beyond Good and Evil
Yep.
HD is on my.
I'm looking forward to seeing if the PlayStation 5 will do that.
And that's
Obviously,
like,
the PS4 is in a situation where I don't think they can do that.
Oh, no, they're
and I think
not.
it's too late for them to
No,
make.
it's too late now.
They might as well just spend the resources doing it on 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if they do that, because I have a ton of PSN purchases from even
Sure.
the PS3 era.
Well, but that's even I have PS3 stuff that was part of my PlayStation Plus, or I have like games that I did buy on there, and it was, and they are now somewhere wherever my PS3
Yeah.
is, sort of thing. Like
Right. Like I was, like I'm
that was one of those weird, pleasantly surprised things on Xbox.
I'm moving some stuff
where-
around now.
Yeah.
Not really subtle about that, but I'm moving some stuff around,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be moving my PS3 out.
Yeah.
And I am in a situation where I have the room to have that out next to my PS4.
Sure.
Which will be nice, because there are some games like Red Dead
Right.
Redemption, like old Metal Gear Solid games, although I can probably play that on... Well, yeah, exactly. I'd have to play it all on PS3 because I don't have a PS Now.
Or you
to
could
play.
just get Game Pass on your Xbox
Where's my Xbox?
at the store,
I don't want to buy it.
Waiting for you.
waiting
to
for
buy
you to buy it.
Or no.
Yeah. So like that's the thing
Like-
is.
Yeah, like I'm in a situation where if the 5 comes out, I won't even need the 3 or the 4. It just sits there, and I can just download all the games to it. Or it might even be a situation where I can even just stream them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like
But
how cool would that be if I could just stream the games? Like I don't even need to.
Yep. But that's the piece with Xbox now and these guys is,
But yeah, like it's
you have to make your exclusives like really banging so that people
correct.
want to play them.
And you're never gonna see let's get this straight. You're never gonna see Master Chief on a PlayStation console. That's the odds of that happening is very low.
Right.
Never
I can't
know.
see that happening. And same thing with something like Smash Brothers. The
Sure.
odds of seeing that on an Xbox console, low.
Right. So you're still going to want exclusives, but the next
So-
part is to sell your console to people who only play Call of Duty.
Yes.
Is what makes your console better to play Call of Duty on.
I mean, at this point, like we know
New
that.
maps first.
No,
Well, but
that-
PlayStation did that.
But the thing is, like we're getting to the generation where that trick no longer works. Because I was
a year down the road that
because you look at I was looking
And
at buying
you gotta judge people's patience on that.
Correct.
and I was looking at games.
hard
I was looking at Control, where apparently there's an exclusive PlayStation like piece to that game.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know that.
Which one?
Control apparently has an exclusive PS4 something or other.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. And if you played on a game on Xbox or Steam or I guess Epic now rather, whatever PC
Whatever
platforms
it's on.
Yeah.
you don't get that stuff. I didn't realize that. And so that stuff no longer works.
Yeah.
Like those exclusive stuff no longer works.
Well, or
it was
people off to a point where they're not going to get it on your system.
Correct. And so there needs to be a new gimmick, and I really appreciate Xbox's, Microsoft's like forward thinking of like you buy one version of it, you're gonna get it from backwards and then forwards.
Well, and
like that's cool.
They've even been developing that. If you look at Halo, like the Master Chief Collection stuff.
Yes. That's kind of like the predecessor to this entire.
Well, and it is, and they finally went with that idea of if you have like every time they add another Halo game to it, the maps, your matchmaking is now. You can select which games you want to play from, as opposed to when they first released one of these collections where it was very much you have to go into 2 and then go into multiplayer and then go into...
Sure.
They've now switched it up. So now when you go multiplayer, it's like, do you want to play 1, 2, Reach...
It's kind of
like
it almost sounds like the promise that Blizzard wanted to do with StarCraft 2, where you had one StarCraft 2, and then whenever they released the other two... Well, obviously the other two are up now, but like you need to have Heart of the Swarm now? Or no?
Yeah, that was the last one.
No, the Protoss one. It's Void.
Yeah.
The Void one or whatever. Yeah, like you need to have that one to play competitively or relevantly anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is nice because that was that thing where it's like I don't want to just play Halo 2. Yeah. I would like to just hit a button and get thrown into a map and be like, oh, okay, we're playing Halo 1 and this is what I have to do and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, because now you have all of those maps available to you, which... I mean, after, 5 mainline games and Reach, like, that's a lot of multiplayer maps. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like...
Not to mention Forge mode, where you can create your own maps,
Sure, but that's what I mean. Like, there's all these pieces to the game now, and you can just play it. But even Call of Duty, when we go into the play section, instead of, again, selecting one specific mode and being stuck in that mode, there's just a drop-down list, and you tag all of the ones you kind of want to play.
We want that.
Huh?
We're not stuck. We're just...
No, but like before, because if you go into hardcore, and then you look at the matches, it's like you have a better chance of finding a match in team deathmatch as opposed to like the other ones.
Not right now.
Well, no, not right now. But that's the thing with the new Modern Warfare one is like you select domination and kill confirmed and like all of those ones, and you sign up for all of them at the same time, and it finds the first open. First open lobby and
only prop hunt.
You play with so many different people on that.
Yes.
Because it jumps you from game to
game. It jumps you from game to game to game to game.
And the wait time on that is so small.
Yeah. Boom. Game.
Yeah. As long as you know that that's the mode that you're introduced. Like if you don't want to play.
And again, you can strike it right off the list. Mm-hmm. So like if we play too many dominations.
Oh, right now.
Cut it.
Certain maps.
Or.
They do the 24/7 maps.
Yes, there's a 24/7 map mode. So if they release new maps or they decide like this is our featured map for the week, you can legitimately just play that map. You can enter a thing that is just that map.
No, thank you.
And sometimes you get stuck in that loop of like we have played Crash now for 6 rounds, and it's like this. Too much.
But yeah.
But then you can take it off the list and.
I think shipment is this week.
It's shipment and vacant. Yeah. That's the mode.
Yeah, good on Sony for getting MLB on everything else now.
Well, because they're still going to make the money.
They are going to make the money. They are still putting a little legwork into making... It's just weird that somewhere in some Sony development office that they have a Switch dev kit, Xbox dev kit, and I'm assuming they already have PC dev kits for whatever reason. But it's just weird to think that they're working on now with Google to make a Stadia version of the next year's MLB game.
It'll be
so weird.
I'll be interested to see what they do for the Switch.
Make a game.
Tone it down.
Make a game.
Not
have nightmare faces like that one glitch video.
They had to do it with The Witcher.
And I get that. That's
it's totally doable.
I would play the show on my Switch with downgraded graphics as opposed to again they have one of those stupid arcade crap versions of a baseball.
I don't think they're gonna downgrade. I think they put the legwork to make it as good as they can do.
They didn't do it for The Witcher.
The Witcher's a different story,
though.
Witcher's kind of a beast. That game.
And there's a lot of things in sports games you can do.
Comparatively, when The Witcher came out to now how the show looks, the graphics are pretty much the same.
I think Sony.
I think you're gonna have it.
You're making this is the first time you're gonna make a Switch game. Like if you're Sony, this is the first time making a Switch game. I think they don't. I don't think they cut corners. I think they make this. I think they make it work.
And realistically,
as closest to it as they can get. Not sure. I don't think they make it.
Baseball fans they're going to mostly have, I would assume, PlayStations and Xboxes, so you're not going to see a lot on the Switch anyways. So why put in that extra legwork for that group?
But I think you do it though.
I'd be interested to.
And it depends on what the contract has for MLB when they sign on.
The Switch is basically a Asian.
Like baseball.
Sells better
in Asia. No, it sells good over here too. The Switch sells
better
here.
over there.
I know, but it's more of the now.
But the people over here mainly have PlayStation.
Yes.
But Western culture has more PlayStations and Xbox, so you're gonna have that niche.
It's just the portability piece, and that's my. I bought a baseball game on my Switch because again.
Can you go online?
Huh?
Can you go online with that?
I don't go online with the regular.
There's a lot of people that go.
I know. But for me, that's my thing.
I don't see the.
I think they put the legwork to make it look just good because I think they can do it because it's not that big of a deal really. Like I've seen some really good Nintendo Switch games.
Then why not do it for The Witcher?
Because The Witcher's The Witcher. That game is nuts. That game is nuts.
That game melts computers. MLB The Show doesn't actually look.
Yeah, I can't comparatively with graphics. So
still no. Witcher's gone.
What Witcher 3 was back when it first came out.
But the thing is, there's less stuff happening in a baseball game than there is The Witcher. There's 100. It's like Skyrim. Skyrim is the same discussion. The one on the Switch, it's noticeably less performance, but that's because it's another Skyrim.
It's not going to look as good. It's not
the baseball game.
Yeah,
I think it'll be.
Which it's not going to deter people.
No, because again, we need a good baseball game. A good baseball game, not RBI
nothing
baseball.
Wrong with it. People still buy The Witcher, and people still buy Skyrim on the Switch.
I almost bought Skyrim on the Switch.
Well, I mean, people still buy it, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just I don't see it being.
Oh no, it's not going to be
PlayStation or Xbox or even computer level.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. It's with all the exclusive stuff is like Xbox. When you look into stuff, they now have project whatever they're working on.
xCloud. That's their streaming service. That's the one they've been running that through a closed beta right now.
Right, and you can't sign up outside of the United States, sort of thing. But again, they're now competing with Stadia because you can play your Xbox games streamed from your Xbox to your phone and play. Yeah. And it's like
I've heard some pretty decent stuff about it.
Again, it's Microsoft behind everything. It's not like it's a baby company; it's a computer company.
Remember, this is also Sony working together with them too.
Right.
And to make this work, somehow Sony is helping develop xCloud at some point.
Like Stadia really had to come out of the gates running,
and it didn't.
And it didn't because now even Steam. Like I was at work the other day, and I'm like, it'd be interesting if I could play some of this stuff with, because I have some games where it's building things and doing all of that jazz, except it won't run on my work computer because my work computer is not meant for that. But now my Steam, like I went into there. And
you can stream.
There's a lovely stream button that streams off of this computer. So it runs it off of this computer and streams the picture to my work computer. And I'm like,
neat.
Great. Awesome.
And I mean, Sony's been doing that with remote play with the PS Vita for a long time.
I know, but no one bought a Vita, so.
I bought a Vita. It still works. I still play it. I mean, I stopped.
Those who bought it still play it.
But the piece is, like, Microsoft going to the, because that was Stadia's big thing. Oh, you can play on your phone, you can play on your tablet, you can play on this. Well, Microsoft, if, in 6 months gets there, and that's the next piece of it, it's like, okay, cool. So now I've got Game Pass where you're giving me games for free, and I can play off all of my screens. And Google's still sitting there going,
they're trying to figure. They just got.
But if you buy our $150 controller, you can play things.
We also don't promise that your Chromecast won't explode this time again.
Yeah. So that's. So no, the show coming is excellent.
It's a good news.
It's exciting.
It's good news for things.
It is good news for things. Speaking of news for things,
we've got Sony is announcing a new controller add-on for the PlayStation 4 late.
Yes.
In its life cycle.
Which you would think it would continue on to the PS5.
Hopefully we haven't seen the controller yet.
Yes, we have. There's some schematics of it.
Schematics, but not the actual.
It's the same. It's pretty much a PS4 controller.
It's gonna look like a PlayStation controller.
No light on the top this time.
It doesn't matter to me.
How will I be blinded while I put my controller up here without
don't
knowing
put it
the
up
light
to your eyes.
Well, because I was playing like this the one time. Cause like if you're scared or something, you're like, oh, it's not. And then all of a sudden there's a light in your eye, like
that might be just an exclusive to you feature.
Yeah, pretty much.
I remember when I was playing hockey.
I don't think we've had that issue.
I did.
I don't play up here.
First time I played hockey, I was like, and
I mean, like
the light on it when you play hockey is usually white, and it was just like, and I'm like, nah.
I think that might just be you, because for
even
when I did that, I knew that there was a light there. I'm like,
I didn't know there was a light up there.
that might be again exclusive and issue to you. There
Don't
is
do
a
it
new.
anymore.
There's no PlayStation 4 Elite controller, official Elite controller.
No.
But now Sony is adding on to the bottom
Yeah.
of the PlayStation 4 a back button / paddle attachment,
Yep.
which allows you to reprogram the paddles to two different functions. So if you want to have your triangle button on a paddle on the back of the controller, you can do that. If you wanted to have, I don't know, the run button.
That's what I'll probably do. Is I probably put the triangle.
Doesn't it either one?
Back.
Well, so and the discussion on this is they're releasing this as a feature for pro gaming people. So, again, the piece is looking at people who are playing Modern Warfare right now, is to reload, you have to take your finger off of, your right stick that lets you look around.
It's square.
I know, but you still have to take your finger off of the thing that lets you look. So for these people who, in their heads, that 0.2 seconds of, makes a difference, they now have it so they can just hit a button here and reload and not have to move that thumb.
I actually like seeing that in fighting games.
Sure,
it should be really, really good in fighting games, because traditionally in a 6-button fighter, the shoulder buttons are always the heavy punch and heavy kicks. Yeah. But now if I can have it on like the paddles, that could be cool.
Yeah,
that would save me the buying a joystick. Or
it's
not
an
joystick,
interesting concept. The thing is $30 American or $40 Canadian.
No. It's
for
we're not pro
buttons.
gamers, though.
And then that's the piece.
If I could get this for like 20 Canadian, I think I would be down for it. But I don't think it'll be ever that cheap, especially coming at the end of the PlayStation 4 life cycle. I mean, we might be in a situation where they can't move it, so they might drop it.
Yeah,
the price or something like that, just because everyone's getting the PlayStation 5.
Or if the PlayStation 5 can use PlayStation 4 controllers.
I'm pretty sure it will.
Because that's what Xbox is also doing.
I bet you it will. There's no reason that it can't.
Sure, but that's the piece is...
There's no reason it shouldn't.
Right.
There's no reason it shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you can use a PlayStation 4 controller on a PC and it just maps itself...
Right.
It should...
They should be able to program it in.
There's no reason...
And that's why Xbox, again, is just like Microsoft goes, you already have 4 controllers, you're done.
Yeah.
If you want our fancy new controller that comes with the...
Well, it'll come with the Series X.
Right. Like, if it comes, we'll give you the one controller. It's going to look a little different. It's going to be a little bit fancier.
I think you get a share button now, so it's fine.
Yeah, they have added a third button, but if you just want, you now don't have to go out and buy extra controllers to do stuff in your house, with people. You can just use those. Because that was even this Xbox I bought, and I'm like, I wonder if my Kinect still, connects to it. No.
That's one of the kind of the disappointing things between going from the Wii U to the Switch is that nothing goes forward.
Right.
I was pretty bummed out about that, because normally some little things go forward. This time it didn't.
Yeah.
I would love to use my Wii remote still, weirdly enough.
So either way, yeah, this lovely thing. So yeah, it's programmable. There's a screen on the back to let you configure the controllers.
It's got an OLED screen, so
yes,
you can
OLED,
and you can swap between profiles. So if you're going from a fighting game to a racing game to a whatever kind of game you want, puzzle game, whatever, you can swap between different profiles.
Yeah. And like I was saying, the Steam
cool.
controller did have those buttons. They were just built into the handle.
Yeah.
Steam had a really crazy sale lately about those controllers. They just
unloaded all of their stuff.
I missed out.
They're not selling any of that.
I know. I want one. So, I missed out on it.
They're probably coming out with another one, which is why they
no,
dropped
they won't.
all
They're not going to do it. I bet you Steam is done with controllers.
They might be.
I bet you they're done with it.
I like that controller.
I do too, but
that was that piece. Is they did have that back button. It does have its functionality, especially for with Steam, because there was computer games involved. So now all of a sudden these could be your right and left mouse clicks and all of that jazz.
They could be letter button combinations.
Again, you can you can set them up as button combos. So it's a cool feature. $40 is a lot. $40 is a lot.
I'm curious to see how it sells.
But again, I understand the pro gaming people to the point of like, I'm going pro gaming. What are 2 extra buttons that are just programmable ones? It's not like they're adding extra buttons. Like, what are they gonna do? And then when the guy said, well, like in a first-person shooter, having to take your thumb off of the right stick can be detrimental to your entire game, and I'm going,
right,
sure. Like, and again, I don't.
It's a speed piece.
It is, and in that pro circuit area of like, even when I used to watch people play Halo, that does make a difference. Us playing.
No, we're screwed anyway.
We're screwed. Like if we're losing a match, it's not like I can be like, I've got this, guys. And master mode.
Especially if you if you figure out the shoulder buttons, it's way faster to hit the paddles than it is on the index finger. It's way faster if you need to like tap something really really quick kind of piece.
Why, thank you.
That's just my. I can see why
for
people
hosting
want it.
us.
Thank you. I don't know who that is.
You guys all know this.
Yeah,
we did. I can see the purpose of it. I don't want it. It's not really designed for me.
And that's the piece. It's not designed.
I appreciate them putting the effort. It's just weird that it's at the end of the PlayStation.
Well,
cycle
that would, like you said, though, it leads to the belief that maybe they bring the controllers forward.
I think they do.
Or this attachment can move forward. Like
one or the other.
They've made sure it's
It'd be kind of dumb.
It's future proof.
This is the first time that if you ever notice on the bottom of your X or PlayStation controller, there's that little extension port next to the audio jack. This is the first time it's ever been used. There's no other controller attachments that really use it that are official Sony ones, because you can get like keyboards and stuff.
I was gonna say you can get keyboards.
You can get keyboards, but like as a official Sony
product
piece. Thank you. We appreciate your.
We do
your words. Thank
you. So yeah,
cool.
It's cool.
Not for us.
It's just it's one of those things where I'm not spending $40 on it. If someone gave me one, I wouldn't be like, oh no, I'm never using this.
Well,
at least you can still plug the audio jack into it.
Yeah.
After the fact.
They have to make that accessible.
Yeah.
That's how half the people talk.
Most people talk.
I use
a USB.
Oh, I don't. I use
a USB.
Yeah, me too. That way I have my big headset.
Although that would free up a USB port on my front. And it doesn't matter.
Why don't you just put it in the back?
Mine doesn't have one on the back.
What, a USB port?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if mine does or not.
We're not pro models.
Yeah.
Everything should come with like 12 USB ports. They cost 12 cents.
No,
do you have? Does your PlayStation 4 Pro have 12 USB ports?
I don't know. Mine's plugged in on the front because I only need the one thing on the front. So.
That's why I looked into the charging station, so I don't have to.
Yeah, no,
I'm another external.
Pretty sure the Pro, and I think the Slim has USB ports on the back. It's just the launch models that have just the 2 in the front.
It always blows my mind. Like HDMI ports on TVs cost an extra $100 per HDMI.
I don't get
usually
that
on a TV. That one I don't understand because USB ports you can buy a whole hub for like $24 and be like, and all the USBs are mine.
Yes. What's data transfer speed?
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You have 12 memory sticks plugged into it. That's fine. What's the worst that could happen? Yes.
Hello, Echo. How is everyone? Good?
Cool.
Good.
All right.
Tired.
You guys are tired. I feel fine.
Well, I was more sore than tired, I guess. I just don't move.
I am tired.
If I don't move, I'm good.
I got sleep. I'm just tired.
I have to shovel. I have to shovel now.
Oh, no.
That's what you get. Speaking of into the Telltale stuff, Telltale is making another game, Wolf Among Us.
Yes, announced at the VGA's one of the crazy surprise announcements.
Well, because again, we knew they got bought.
Yes. You have to realize at some point in time they had Wolf Among Us 2 in development somewhere in time, and they just never talked about it. They always said, "Oh, yeah, it'd be nice if we did Wolf Among Us 2. Here's Batman."
Yeah,
it'd be nice if we did Wolf Among Us 2. Here's Guardians.
Yeah, it wasn't one of their big sellers. I don't think.
It wasn't a big seller, but it was a cult thing. Because especially if you read Fables, like it was apparently really good to the source material.
Yeah.
Like Wolf Among Us 2. Well, the big news is, part of the big news being it coming back, Wolf Among Us 2.
And they've also dropped the Telltale engine that we all hate.
we liked it at first.
No. It was fun.
To be fair, it was great at first.
Yes, it was. But
presentation-wise,
wise,
systems kept growing.
And
it didn't.
They didn't.
It didn't.
It was a little.
Yeah, they never updated that thing.
No, they barely They made it work on new consoles.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Like it's funny. Like I look at something, and again, World of Warcraft, which is now 15 years old.
Oh God, I feel like it's more.
But,
we're just staring at stuff.
Yep, we're reading. But like World of Warcraft, they knew they had to, like they couldn't keep the same graphics from 15 years ago. So it's like we can't just obliterate the engine and make a whole new thing.
That would be more effort.
Right. So it's this like, okay, we'll work this piece in and work this piece. Like we'll keep updating pieces to make sure that
Yeah, but the Telltale never did that.
No,
it's always been that it would look nicer going into the next generations, but it would still run the same.
Yeah.
Is basically it.
Yeah. So it's nice they're now using Unreal Engine.
So now it's going to be Wolf Among Us 2 is going to be exclusive to the Epic Store. But yeah, exciting for them to finally. And I guess another question being like if you have a save file from Wolf Among Us 1, season 1, like will that transfer over? Because it's hard. It's hard to say right now. Like
yes. And the old engine was called the Telltale Tool, by the way.
It was a tool.
It was a tool, very much so.
It was a very much tool. It was a very big tool. Good, congratulations on Telltale for moving forward.
Yeah.
And I know that I don't know the new studio who bought them, but it's old staff members, a good chunk of the old staff members. Not all of them, because they all obviously had to find jobs.
Well, and at the same point, that company that bought them probably hired on enough people going like Telltale Tool. Like hired enough people going, okay, you hire the major players and then start asking questions as to why did your company go to crap, right. And then from there it's this development part of the company not so great. The guys who were supposed to be updating our engine, we don't know what happened to them.
Or just like we suggested them we use different engines for different games, but it never
this never happened. So like
we changed the channel icon.
And it could be very.
I don't know. It's got the 200 on it.
It could very well.
I don't know.
It could very well be a situation where they just didn't want to fork over money to Unreal or whoever other engine to update the stuff.
As opposed to everybody else who just gives all their money to Unreal because it's the engine.
Or it could be a situation where they couldn't update the tools or update the engine because they were like, we're going to do a season 2 of this, so the save files have to transfer over to the new engine. Or to the new game, but like if we do it with the new engine, it's gonna break everything. So there is a chance when season 2 comes out,
it might not connect, people are very online talking about this one, going, "I'm okay with that."
And I think the way that you fix that is you do what Mass Effect did between 1, 2, and 3.
What did you make choices?
Yeah, exactly. Like just give you like a little like, what did you do here? What did you do here? And that way, at least you recapture the old audience, while getting new players and new audiences caught up on what happened during season 1.
At one point, Telltale had to
I don't think you can buy those old games anymore. I think they got dropped, right? Or did they get relisted?
I think they got relisted.
They got relisted? Yeah. Okay, good. So that's not half bad.
Yeah, so you can rebuy all of those. Like, you can still have fun playing old Telltale games, but they feel like old
They're
games.
dated. They're very dated. And I'm really excited that they're moving forward with a new engine.
Or with their engine, and again, World of Warcraft always makes me laugh. Like, if people have been going and clamoring for bigger backpacks for ages, and they couldn't change it because every time they did, the world exploded. So somewhere in the coding for backpack space, increasing it from 16 slots to 20, changing the number from 16 to 20 would make it so the game wouldn't run. Fatal errors and crashes, and they're like,
coding be like that.
So to get around it, they legitimately added a new part of code that just added an invisible backpack. So when you open your backpack, there was just another 4 slots, but it was technically a separate bag. They had to work their way around it.
Programming is hard, guys.
Well, and one person does something to make the game work 15 years ago, which screws up something 15 years down the line. So same thing with Telltale is
that sounds like story writing in a Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
Dude, Kojima makes a storyline and then has to wrap it up somehow at some point in time, and then doesn't.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the I always laugh when it comes to programming because you do it.
Coding is hard.
At the time of making a game,
you don't see the foresight.
You do what you need to do to make that game work, not thinking that they're going to use the same engine 10 years down the road
or do something else with that piece that might be crucial for something. And it's so embedded in it. Like we see that in website programming. We see that in all kinds.
Oh, sure.
That's.
There's a lot of chat going on.
There is a lot of chat going
They
on.
can talk.
That's fine.
Oh no, they're not between it.
Nah.
To us.
Well, we're busy. We're busy.
I like Coke and Pepsi both. Never tried Pepsi and rum, so I don't know.
I drink Coke.
I'm not into drinking right now, so. That's congratulations with Telltale.
Yay!
Moving
I
on.
might actually play your new game.
Yes, and I do think they do a recap thing because I don't
It's
really
an
want
easy platinum. Okay.
That's
Okay.
why Chris plays them.
Stories
press
are
X,
decent.
press X, press
Stories
X.
are decent.
Yes,
I like the Batman story.
I think I would like.
Batman was fun.
I would like to see them do a very original game.
Which I think is the nice part of The Wolf Among Us is it's more.
It's still a franchise game.
I know.
It's still on a prop. I'd rather them see a wholly original game from them.
From Telltale?
Yes.
That's not their shtick.
I know, but it's a different company now, so perhaps
Like
there's
what?
anything. It's, I don't know, cowboy adventure. I don't know. Sci-fi.
Cowboys versus aliens.
Franchise.
That's already a franchise, but I would like to see a Western piece. I know it's very successful for Red Dead, obviously. So.
Yeah.
Red Dead story mode. Telltale game.
Story mode.
No, not as a Telltale game.
Season 1.
They did it
Season
for
1.
Borderlands. They could do it
Borderlands.
for-
Correct. That's what I'm
Correct.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
that's Telltale's wheelhouse. Is very much take a
But it could
property
be-
and do a.
But I would like to see them do something different. I would like to see those writers flex somewhere because they are there. They are there.
They are there. There's people
so,
there
like, it's.
that write stories based on other franchises. It's what, you know.
But I think that there's more. They could do more than that. I think they can, and
I don't, yeah.
Walking Dead wasn't.
still
It
zombies.
wasn't based off another game or anything.
No, but it was based off of The Walking
franchise,
Dead.
yeah. And that's the piece. I think taking off of comic books is better than taking off of.
It's
like,
easier. Yeah, it's easier to write for. That's why they churned out all those games so fast.
Yeah, like as opposed to even Batman and
Guardians came up pretty quick.
But even like those ones based off of
Back
more
to the Future,
movies, Back to the Future,
Jurassic Park.
Back to the Jurassic Park.
There's a Jurassic Park one.
Yes, there's a Jurassic Park.
I don't have
Telltale.
that one.
It's have you watched Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But Telltale, easy platinum.
I know. I'm just saying
Come
that
on.
game was very much
I
a like oh
I have
this
5 or
is
6 of
Jurassic.
them. I could
this
see
If
is
you
those.
want to, if you want to like maximize your platinums, Telltale Games
Yes.
never
I
did the
know.
work to separate them. So you could get 3 platinum trophies for The Wolf Among Us:
Yes.
PS3, PS4, and a Vita.
I don't have a Vita.
Well,
I can only do 2 of them.
you can borrow mine.
just to get the platinum.
I'm good.
So yeah, there you go. That's the news.
Yes, thanks for joining
this
us
week.
today.
We will be back in about 5 minutes for the post-credit show. Where we talk about games we played,
Movies we watched, and
other
everything else.
nerd stuff we've done.
Everything else in between.
So like and share, get some people on
Smash
board.
that like button.
Yeah, you.
Smash it.
And then share because we'll be back in 5.
We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.